Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. I promise y'all, I understand it's the middle of the summer. I'm not clickbaiting y'all with this one. There's actual cause for concern and a real reason to believe that reports that CeeDee Lamb not only may hold out of training camp, which honestly is to be expected if he hasn't received this cheddar by then, but he may also request a trade from the Dallas Cowboys if Jerry and Steven don't get their crap together and pay their guys. Let's get into this, and I'm going to talk to you about why we should actually have some cause for concern this time. All right, so you can see here the report is being made. Star receiver will skip training camp, may seek a new trade. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not too concerned about this offshoot website reporting this. What I am concerned, though, about is Pretty Ricky 213. I know it's not Adam Schefter, it's not Ian Rappaport, it's not an ESPN guy or FS1 guy. And to be honest, the fact that he's none of those things, and he's been right about multiple things this offseason, way before the experts, is kind of concerning. This guy right here has actually been breaking news this NFL offseason before Ian Rappaport and before Adam Schefter on numerous occasions, and we're going to take a look at some of those right now so you guys can kind of understand why I'm giving him a bit of ethos here, credibility in what he's reporting about CeeDee Lamb. But Pretty Ricky 213 says CeeDee Lamb will request to be traded if the Cowboys do not offer him a new contract worth at least $32 million per year. He wants to be at least the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, as he absolutely should be. He is a receiver going into the prime of his career, coming off of a 1,700-yard receiving year in which this is the best year of his career, and Dak Prescott and CeeDee are absolutely cooking right now. $32 million, in my opinion, would honestly be a discount compared to what I thought CeeDee should and could actually be getting from the Cowboys, which is about $34 to $34.5 million per season. He would be leaving almost $10 million on the table if he accepts the $32 million per season contract, which is perfectly fine with me as far as team building goes, but there is no reason on God's green earth why the Cowboys should not be trying to sign this contract like yesterday. If that's all that CeeDee wants, if that's all that he and his agent are looking for, this is a no-brainer deal right here, guys. This contract writes itself out. Give CeeDee his 4 or 5 years for 150 or whatever it is, $150+ million, and let's move on with our life and get QB1 locked up, and then we'll do all this all over again next season for Micah Parsons. But $32 million, it's not a lot. Amon-Ra St. Brown got $30 million a year, just for reference, and CeeDee has had a much more productive career than Amon-Ra St. Brown to this point. So there's no reason why the Cowboys shouldn't be prepared to give CeeDee Lamb this money outside of negligence, outside of the ability or inability to be able to do a job the proper way. Steven is becoming like a scourge on our entire franchise at this point, because you can't convince me this is Jerry doing this. Jerry prides himself on being able to retain the guys that he wants to retain. Now, I know some of you feel a certain type of way about Dak Prescott. You have questions about whether or not he's going to be back or whatever it is, but there shouldn't be any questions about this dude. CeeDee Lamb should be a no-brainer. He should 100% be coming back to the team on a brand new contract, not a franchise tag or anything else like that, a brand new contract. We have one receiver on our roster that we know for sure is the type of receiver we can keep on this roster for the next few years, for the foreseeable future. Brandon Cooks is towards the end of his career. We don't know what we have in any of the other guys on our roster. Pay CeeDee Lamb his money. There's no reason he should have to hold out, and there's no reason we should be having to see reports like this from Pretty Ricky 213, which is a guy that has actually been covered by Awful Announcing as being someone that's been able to break news before some of the biggest news breakers in the entire NFL have been able to. Just a few of the occasions that he's been able to break news on, he broke the news on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars extension before Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. Here's the article by Awful Announcing on Pretty Ricky 213. Just give you guys some credibility and to kind of give you a point of reference as it pertains to this particular user, because we really don't know who he is. But on Thursday, news broke that Jacksonville Jaguars had signed former #1 overall draft pick Trevor Lawrence to a new long-term contract. As these things usually go, the news was broken at pretty much the same time by major NFL insiders like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. Rappaport sent his tweet at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. even shouting out Lawrence's agent, Jay Curry, and giving his ex-handle some love, just in case you needed a reminder that the relationship between agents and insiders has always been under scrutiny. When we scroll down a little bit, you can see Ian Rappaport's tweet right here. You can see, in fact, it is at 5:45 p.m. on Central Time. Schefter sent his tweet 2 minutes later at 6:47 p.m. Eastern, reporting the same news. You see Schefter's tweet right here, 5:47 p.m. June 13th, 2024. This is often how the game is played. The national insiders own 99% of the important scoops that happen in the NFL because of the relationships inside the sport and the followings they have built among fans over many years. But Schefter and Rappaport were not the first people on social media to have the story. That honor belongs to ex-user Pretty Ricky 213. At 6:20 p.m. Eastern, 25 minutes before Ian Rappaport, Pretty Ricky tweeted that the Jaguars had finalized their extension with Trevor Lawrence. And this is the tweet right here, breaking. I've been told that the Jaguars have finalized extension with Trevor Lawrence. I previously reported that the deal will be the largest QB contract in history, hearing that it will not surpass the Burrow deal, and the Jags are not done yet. Okay, and then we've seen this happen before. Every now and then, a random social media user will get a scoop and beat the professionals at their own game. Maybe they know someone who knows someone or saw someone at a storefront. But a funny thing is happening this NFL offseason. Whoever Pretty Ricky 213 is and whatever Pretty Ricky 213 does, Pretty Ricky seems to know what's going on in the NFL world before anybody else. In fact, a look at some of the biggest NFL scoops of the offseason shows Ricky beating the biggest, most famous, and most notable NFL insiders by some distance and even taunting them along the way. The account appears to have been reactivated on April 18th after going offline temporarily. Although the tweets aren't available from before April 18th, the account had made traction with scoops on Calvin Ridley and Brian Burns. Since then, Ricky has incredibly and mysteriously broken consistent NFL news before anyone else, sometimes by even days or weeks. Here are a few examples. Odell Beckham Jr. Pretty Ricky said the Dolphins have an agreement done with Odell Beckham Jr., but the team is waiting to finalize until after the draft. After the draft, what happened? Odell signed with the Dolphins on May 3rd, a week after the draft. Again, this dude reported this prior to that. Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pretty Ricky 213 tweeted that the Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff will be signing a new deal with the team at 8:43 a.m. Eastern on April 24th. Later that morning, Ricky also tweeted that Amon-Ra St. Brown will become the highest paid receiver in the league at 10:04 a.m. Eastern through a new extension. Then we see Ian Rappaport reported the St. Brown signing at 11:46 a.m. Eastern, over 90 minutes after Pretty Ricky 213. Even more fascinating was that Schefter reported on that same day that there was no deal imminent for Goff in Detroit after St. Brown's signing, which conflicted with the Pretty Ricky story. Okay, see, Adam Schefter just said there was no deal imminent. And then Schefter would break the news of Goff's new contract to the Lions nearly a month later on May 13th. Ricky celebrated by taking a victory lap over Schefter after the ESPN Insider's report. Tyler Boyd. Ricky had former Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd moving to the Tennessee Titans on May 2nd. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported the signing on May 7th, a full 5 days later, bro. He also did Justin Jefferson, Darren Waller. He's been breaking news all offseason, y'all. So I have no reason to think that this is just a random internet troll that's lying, because he has established a record of credibility in which we have to take this dude seriously. So now we have to seriously consider the thought that CeeDee Lamb may demand a trade if the Cowboys don't stop playing with his money. And to be quite honest, no player that has earned their money and has produced the way that CeeDee and Dak and Micah and all these guys, they shouldn't have to wait on a deal. They shouldn't have to be playing these games with their owners. I don't know if this is a pride and ego thing going on with the Joneses right now, because they understand that they have very little power as it pertains to the negotiations with these three players in particular. But they got to get off of that, man. I know these old rich billionaires hate losing deals. I know they hate not having power. They hate having to cede power. But guys, these dudes have earned their money. At this point, the Cowboys are running out of excuses. I have no more excuses for them. And to be quite honest, bro, if this deal isn't done by training camp, if this deal isn't done by the first week of August, the Cowboys may have way more serious issues going on in that front office than I could have ever imagined. Initially, when I seen this report, I was going to come on here and tell you guys, oh, relax, don't worry about it, it's just random reporting. But no, this dude has been on target with a lot of reports all offseason, so I'm not going to be ignorant or naive enough to sit here and just assume that this is hogwash, because we have no clue what's on CeeDee Lamb's mind. We have no clue what's going on behind the scenes as it pertains to the Dallas Cowboys and these negotiations. And I do know that I do not want to see CeeDee Lamb traded, not one bit. And if we do end up having to trade this man, you got to send him to the AFC. You don't want to be seeing CeeDee Lamb any number of times throughout the season if you're a Cowboys fan. And if we have to trade any of our guys simply because our owners are being extremely cheap, again, say what you want about Dak, CeeDee, there's no reason why you don't pay your number one guy. Even if Dak isn't going to be your guy of the future, there's no reason you trade away or don't pay a prime wide receiver, 25 years old, going into the peak of his career as a receiver, which is between the 26 and 30 ages. There's no reason why you don't pay him. There's no reason. And stuff like this is exactly what we continue to say. We steal them same old Cowboys, because what are we doing, man?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.